players that came from near and far. Some came from England, some came from Canada, some came from Germany. Jamie Hunter.
All right, everybody. Call your sons, call your daughters, call your mothers, call your fathers, call your lovers, call everyone you know. We are here. We have reached the finals of the World Women's Snooker U.S. Open, first one ever ranking tournament in snooker on U.S. soil. David Burney is in the booth. And once again, we're going to have a great little feed from our sponsor. And we'll be right back to start this final. Just a word from Andrew Wilson over at Microsoft.
Hello, I'm Andrew Wilson, Chief Digital Officer here at Microsoft. I'd like to congratulate you all on the first US Women's Snooker Tournament here in the United States. Have fun, and I wish you all the very best of luck with your games.
And thank you very much, Andrew Wilson, for your kind words and your kind contribution to make this tournament a success. It is the finals. Jamie Hunter from England due to battle against Rebecca Kenna from England as well. Dave Daly has flipped the coin, and we're ready to get things started. Rebecca's won the toss, and she's elected to break off. Here we are, a best of 7. Hope you're all tuned in to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch.tv. Just check out Ox Billiards to check out all the live action. If you're on the stream, feel free to share it with all your friends, all your snooker fanatics out there that love watching this great game. And feel free to let us know where you're tuning in from. If you have any comments or questions, that's David Burney in the booth. I think I might be joined by some friends a little later on as this final goes deep. We'll see what can happen here. I think it's kind of anyone's match here. Rebecca actually made quick work of Emma Parker in her semifinal 4-0. Jamie had a little bit of a scare, was up 3-0, and Mary Tebbolt took one frame back. It was looking a little scary for Jamie, but she was a trooper, fought it off, and took her match, her semifinal match, 4-1, and that leads us with these two in the final. So it was interesting in the first frame. Nerves are riding high. It's always good to get amongst the balls and pot a few balls, get that back arm nice and loose. So, two great players in the final, but I have to tell you, the whole field was fantastic. A wonderful group of 15 competitors coming from England, Germany, Canada, and the US of A. That is true, and if we have most of our American viewers and Canadian viewers, there will be some more live snooker coming up in a week's time when Ox will be hosting the U.S. Nationals. Should be a great event. I think they have about 38 competitors right now. But right now, we've got the business of finding out who is going to write their name in the history books of this great game of snooker to be the first ever World Women's Snooker U.S. Open champion. Jamie getting up on her tippy toe, which is completely legal in the game of snooker. As long as there is 1 foot or part of the foot touching the floor, it is a complete legal shot. I think you'll see a little bit of this safety back and forth right now. Just obviously we're in the final, so each players respecting their opponent know that one costly mistake could have them sitting for quite a while, as both these players know how to accumulate points rather quickly by building high breaks. And that might just been the first mistake there by Jamie. I think Beck's just taking a look to see if that black goes into the top left corner pocket after this red into the right middle. Playing for the opposite corner. They know better than I do. They've got the best vantage point. Being down on the table, they see all the angles. Very nicely done there by Bex. Quickly erases that 7-point foul that occurred a few moments ago. Maybe a little first frame jitters there. Is Jamie going to be aggressive in trying to cut this into the green pocket or just play safe? Very nicely done. She's put it in there and just on the wrong side of the blue. But with her skill level, I'm pretty sure she can take this blue into the middle bag and come in and out of bulk to come back down to the reds. Oh, just electing to be gentle. Kind of took her mind off that one as the blue didn't drop. So Bex is ranked 4th in the world on the women's scene, and Jamie is ranked 12th. So, but I think in any case, this is definitely going to help Jamie climb a little bit up into the rankings, win or lose. But obviously with a win, she'll be able to climb a few more spots. I believe the next women's event will be in Scotland, and I think that is in October. So always take a look at womenssnooker.com to find out all the listings of these women's events. In the chat box, you can click on that link and that will show you all the scores from this tournament. You can track it where your favorite player has done. We had 15 competitors, and it's all come down to 2 now. This is a best of 7 race to 4-frame final. Winner takes home $1,200, the trophy, and the distinct honor of being the first ever World Women's Snooker U.S. champion. So a lot's riding on this. Who will prevail? Time will tell. So always 2 parts to every shot in snooker. And that was a great pot there by Bex, but unfortunately her colored is desired. Kind of reminds me of a story once Cliff Thorburn, the great Canadian player, hit his red ball and was in amongst the red balls with his cue ball, and he was feathering over them and kind of hampered and worried that if he hits anything he would foul, so he kept saying black, 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 and then at the last minute he just said yellow when he came down to strike his cue ball, because if he had said black then it would have been a 7-point foul. So smart thinking, you always got to be thinking on your toes. That's a great long pot there by Jamie. Always important, this first frame. You like to get the first frame early in the match, be the one that gets the first frame, because then you can feel like you're in the match, and then your opponent might be just struggling to get that first frame. It was a tough pot, and Jamie made it look easy. Just got a bit of an angle on this brown. Come back down the table for the reds after. Got a lot of Americans tuning in. You'll notice that these great snooker players, they don't hit the ball that hard. You let the cue do the work, let the ball travel. You think bigger table, you must hit the ball harder, but that's really not the case. This is a finesse game, a touch, a feel kind of game, you know, as opposed to pool. You know, you're only using really just the one cue in snooker, whereas American pool, you've got a jump cue, break cue, regular cue. No, this definitely looks like a good visit here. for Jamie to clinch this first frame.
22.
Nice shot. Nice little kiss into that brown. It's opened up that, or the kiss into that red. It's opened up that red over the black ball. Ooh.
Jamie 20.
Like I said, there's always those two parts of the shot. She had the shape on the black, but unfortunately the red did not drop. She's gonna double kiss. Sometimes can be deadly, that dreaded double kiss. But Junior might have an angle actually to clip off this red and get behind the green. Going aggressive and going for the pot. Unfortunately, I don't think the blue has come to her rescue. Bex has got a long red, but for Bex's skill, this should be a formality. That would be a really tricky plant there. If he was going to take on those two reds there. So that's, I think, the big difference you see, and I think we're going to see it a lot more in our American players. They've learned a lot here of not always playing a low percentage shot. Play the smart shot. Play safe if you don't have a pot on. Well, Jim, in snooker we do call it a best of. Obviously, in American pool they have races. In American pool they call it racks, whereas in snooker they call it frames. So it's just the different dialogue. I know sometimes in North America we were trying to get the pool player to come over, so sometimes we might slip into some terminology that the pool player knows, whereas like a bank shot, but that would be considered called a double in the land of snooker. So that's what we're here to do, to educate everybody on this great game. So yeah, that's why we put that's the highest number of frames that they could play, hence a best of 7. So, but either Rebecca or Jamie needs 4 to eclipse the title to be the first ever World's Women's Snooker U.S. Open champion. Yeah, I didn't want to be tight to that red, that's for sure. Blue off its spot. This is definitely a shot that all players should be practicing religiously. You know, for all you youngsters or new players to the game, if you're ever at your club or you're fortunate enough to have a table in your own house, put the blue on its spot and just go all around the different angles of trying to cut it into the middle pocket. Because more often than not, you're going to need that shot. Sometimes you're thrown out of position from a red that's deep in the top table and it comes up to the blue. So, but Beck's refusing the blue, offering for the pink. A little bit more difficult as it's a longer shot. highway robbery. Oh, boy. How did that stay out of the pocket? I think Mike Dominguez might have to hide after this conclusion of this match. I think Jamie's going to go over and talk to him about what kind of mechanic he had on this table. It just rattled in the jaws and just did not drop. Well, Rebecca, that's what we're here for. If you have any comments or questions, we got a lot of viewers that are completely new to the game. Some are well versed. Even in the chat room, we have some friends that know the game inside and out. So it's just a great community to grow the sport, and we'll all learn together. It juggles everything, and it's definitely a great game to get youngsters into, really, because it teaches them discipline. You have to be at a certain time for a match if you're going to play someone, as well with angles. It teaches them geometry, and there's some addition schools that need to go on there. So I know in England they do have a program that they bring into the schools, and it's a win-win situation, as the students are happy just to get out of the classroom and feel like they're doing something different and not learning the same boring lesson, and the teachers are happy because the students are winning things, or learning things, I should say, learning about geometry and all that. So hopefully maybe in North America someday we can get it part of the curriculum, and we can get some more North American, Canadian, and American players on the pro circuit. The great thing about this game is, when there's a cue ball to be replaced, obviously the referee will do his best job to place it where it needs to go, but he will always check in with both players just to make sure, and they both have to agree, and then we'll play on. Some of you might be thinking, well, just, hit the red ball, Jamie. That's all you need to do. But Jamie is aware of Bex's great skill, so there's one thing they say about just hitting the red ball, but another thing, you want to hit it. That's what Jamie was wanting to do. Congratulations of a tap on the table from Bex. You want to hit that red in such a fashion that you're not leaving a pot on. There is a pot here, but it is always tricky going from one side of the table to the other. That green that Bex is going over doesn't want any fabric of clothing to touch that ball to cause a foul. Bit unfortunate that kiss off that brown, but I think the blue has come to her rescue. That's a nice shot by Jamie. She's got a snooker on the open red. There's a red on the cushion there for Bex. So Bex might want to hit on the left side of this red ever so lightly, and then come off the two cushions, the top and the side, and get behind that yellow. Interesting. It's good to voice your support for either player that you're pulling for. I'm sure somehow through the Ethernet they can hear that support somehow that you're writing on the stream, so they'll both greatly appreciate that. And as so often it does, a lot of these frames come down to the colors. She's snookered here. Might be a bit of a swerve by the blue. Jamie just checking with the referee, make sure he's aware of where to put the cue ball if there is a put back. Look here, and these tables are phenomenal. Mike Dominguez and the team at Ox spare no expense. They're star tables with Strachan number 10 cloth and tournament grade cut pockets. All the players, even our English players, they're just they can't believe the quality of these tables. As some of them back home actually, play on club tables that aren't like these skating rinks that we have right here. They're more like a shag carpet. So if you're in the Seattle area and you like playing the game of snooker, these are the tables to play on for sure. And we just started actually in this final as well. This is the first frame of a best of 7. So if you're tuning in from Seattle, come on down. We're at Ox Billiards in the Capitol Hill district. Admission is free and the drinks are cool. So not a bad way to have a Sunday night here in the Pacific Northwest of the USA. This is kind of interesting. Always when you're on that last red ball, when it's on the table just before the colors, there is always that opportunity of a free ball. Karen, much appreciated that you're tuning in. It's 3 a.m. Must be over there in the British Isles, maybe. Or you're up late on a Sunday night or up very early on a Monday morning. Oh, you Brits and those bank holidays. That one flirted with shooting out. Jamie's just got to watch a little bit maybe with her. No, her hair won't be a problem. It'll be more of her sleeve of her shirt that might hit that pink. Just made it just that much more difficult. Fortunate enough she got a little nice flick off that black with the yellow. Although, this is a good chance for Bex to lay a snooker. Trailing by 22 with 27 on. She doesn't need it, but if you don't have a pot on, the best avenue of attack is to really tie up your opponent and get them thinking. Now that's the right way to think there, Jamie. Just if you got the pot on, put it into the bottom of the pocket and with authority. Look out for that cue ball. That's okay. It sticks out. It's a great long pot there by Bex. It's a tricky pot going down there, so Bex could do it again. We saw it in her first or semi-final match in the first frame, where Emma Parker was leading the whole frame, but Bex hung in there and was able to steal the frame on the black. So, is history going to repeat itself? Kind of went a bit far on that blue, but can go in and out of bulk and be on this pink. Wasn't a great miss. Sometimes there's a good miss when you don't leave it on, but Jamie's well versed in these long pots. Show no fear on this. Set a sigh of relief as that was her frame ball. So Bex needs 2 snookers to take this first frame. So there's 22 in it and 13 on the table. Karen, we are working on it. Mike is doing a great job here at Ox. I think it's just the exposure with the Americans and some of the young Canadians. Some young Canadians won't be aware of the greats like the Thorburnens and the Werbeniks and the Stevens and the Weiches and the Robidoux and Chaperons. But America really hasn't had a strong contingency of players over on the Pro Tour. So I think once it gets exposure like this, that will really inspire young boys and girls to pick up a cue. That's a great pink there by Jamie to take the first frame of this final of the World Women's Snooker US Open. We'll be stepping aside for a quick commercial break, and frame 2 will be coming up shortly. So as you would expect it, with Jamie taking that first frame, she leads all the categories. She has a 79 pot success in that frame to a 71 that Rebecca had. Jamie's safety success was 73. Bex was pretty close with 71. A nice 28 run for Jamie, helped her win that frame. Bex only had an 8. And Jamie definitely, as we've seen throughout the tournament, is one of the more quicker players, and her average shot time was about 20 seconds in that frame, as to Rebecca's that was 27. So it's just been a comfort bait for Bex, and she should be coming back momentarily, and frame 2 will begin very soon.